Next up, we are proud to present Metadata's Gil Alouche, founder and CEO, and Lisa Sharapata, VP of AI and GTM strategy. And we are going to dive deep into the autonomous marketing system. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, Julia. Great to be here. Thank you for the stage. Hi, everyone.
Our pleasure. What's new in the world of agentic AI?
Julia, Lisa, do you want to
Um,
say hi?
yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having us, Julia. And yeah, lots to show. So we can definitely jump right in. Is it okay if I just pull up my slides?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Uh, Let me share my screen here. Let's see if I can just make it a slideshow. All right, how's that?
Looks great.
All right. All right. So, real quick, we can just give a little intro here on Gil and I. Gil, do you want to just give a little overview of your experience?
Yeah, totally. Hello, everyone. My name is Gil Alush. I'm the founder and CEO of Metadata. I'm originally a software engineer, robotics and AI, and then I went into marketing. I did 3 stints as a VP of marketing in B2B companies, and then I started a company that at least tries, in theory, to replace myself, so that you don't have to hire a technical marketing head or a technical marketing agency, and that's what we do. We do advertising on autopilot.
All right. Well, and I'm Lisa. Been in the B2B tech space for quite some time now and a two-time CMO. And I'm excited to be here with Gil and Metadata and helping to kind of lead the charge and also figure out how all this works so that I'm the 1% of marketers who has a job when all this is done. Um, so yeah, with that, I want to pass it over back to Gil, and we're going to just kind of start going through some of the use cases that we've been working on and building, and just really talking about kind of this real shift that I'm seeing isn't just about using AI, it's how do we let AI do the work? So from there, I'll pass it off to Gil.
Awesome. So for everyone's context, I gave this presentation for the first time maybe a month back um, on a yacht with a group of maybe 15 CROs and CMOs. And the feedback was so good that we decided to start propagating this message out there. I started by showing a funny how it started, how it's going meme, because I think everyone can relate to this. Maybe a few years ago, when we were thinking about AI and all the innovation and singularity and all that good stuff, we were thinking about flying cars and sitting in a beach, and most of the work is being done for us. While in reality, we're hooked to LinkedIn with insane FOMO and all these prompts and cheat sheets and all the things that are just making us more and more nervous. And I can tell you that as CMO, as founders and CMOs, we're asked to do a lot more with a lot less. And it's really, we're at the FOMO stage. So if we move to the next stage, I'll give you the next slide. I'll show a little bit of an example. First of all, why should we care about this? And the main reason that you should care about this is because we all of our lives are going to change. And I think sometimes, Lisa, if you want me to take over the slides, let me know. I'm happy to so that you don't
Okay.
have to. Yeah.
Um, no, we're good. Let's keep going. I'll try to keep up with you.
Oh, no worries. So I'm still the second slide.
Okay. Like
So I think
right
one of
here.
them. No, the one right after.
Okay.
So, if you ask yourself why you should care, I think many people talk about AI in future tense, and that's because of comfort. For psychological comfort, we're trying to push this into future, maybe procrastinate a little bit. But the truth is that vast majority of the things that you thought are going to be possible in the future are already possible 2 3 months ago. I remember myself in July last year when Claude released Claude Desktop, or about to release, the browser control. I realize that things are going to be not a little different, not like 20%, 30%, 50% difference. They're going to be like 99% different, meaning that vast majority of the things that we know are going to cease to exist, and we're going to have to reinvent ourselves if we want to not only keep a job, but be ahead of the curve in terms of enjoy our job, not be like archaic, and maybe even get paid 10 times the amount of money we get paid today because we're going to be indisposable in the market. And so I think that's the main reason you should care about this, because this is happening right now, and it's really a decision. It's a binary decision of whether you're part of it and you know exactly what's going on and how to use it to your advantage, or you're behind, stressed because you don't even know how to start. And getting started is usually a commitment you do to yourself. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, doing something has compound interest, right? It's just like working out or doing anything else in life. Instead of thinking about being, Arnold Schwarzenegger in 3 months, you can do a 5 minute workout, 10 minute workout every day with AI and be smarter and start seeing how it changes your life. Every time you have a question, instead of going to Google, going to ChatGPT. Every time you have a piece of data or something about yourself that you want to ingest into an AI model, you go and you upload a context or some data set or something of that sort. So that's the main reason you should care about this, so that you can be really ahead of the time and be part of the change versus part of the resistance, the inevitable change that is going to happen. And of course, as a founder and CEO, I have a personal interest in making my business profitable. The days of building a business, when we raise a good amount of money from metadata, the days of growing at all costs are gone. My investors, the board, are asking me every meeting, about profitability, about the rule of 40, about the um, revenue per employee, right? You look at the companies like Lovable, right? They're still a super small team with uh, with uh, with double-digit $1 million ARR. This is the new way of doing things, and there is no way of doing it without really adopting your AI in the highest percentage. And then last but not least, you want to scale without scaling resources, right? You want to scale from, I don't know, depending where you are in your business, 1 million to 10 million without hiring 15 people more, which is the usual formula of a VC backed company. You want to be able to have a 20 people company with $50 million revenue, $50 million revenue. That is possible today if you are AI first, meaning everything that you do, you build it with a workflow, an agent, or a system that is AI first. Let's move on to the next slide. This is not just a small example of those prompts I was referring to. I think you all know this. If you're in Twitter, I guess X or LinkedIn, this is all you see, right? Put cheat sheet on the comment to get my best prompt for ChatGPT. If you're a vibe marketer, put here and I'll share with you my N8N workflow or my make.com workflow. And what it really does, at least if you have ADHD like me, you will save it, you'll bookmark it somewhere, you'll take a screenshot of this nice cheat sheet, and you'll save it in some folder that you will never open again. You just do it for a psychological comfort that you're doing something, that you're taking some step. But the truth is you're not taking any step, you're just procrastinating. The way to get ahead is to spend X amount of minutes or hours every day implementing and adopting this new technology that is called artificial intelligence. It is not super futuristic. It's not something you can't grasp. It is absolutely graspable. It will become a household tool. It already has in many ways. You just haven't realized it. But it is time now. This is like the 1990s, right? Where the internet just came about. Some people laughed at it, right? The Blockbuster CEO laughed at Netflix. But this is becoming a reality. In a second, this is going to be the number one productivity tool, the number one data analysis tool, the number one action based tool for you. And the earlier you adopt it, you're going to be just that much ahead of the curve. So let's get started.
Yeah, and Gil, I thought
Go ahead.
it was interesting what Tuba said on the prior session about how the more you're prompting, honestly, like the more you're probably getting in the way of letting AI be as powerful as it can be. So with that, I'll pass it on.
Yeah, and there's definitely some truth to it. The models are still learning, so depending on what work you do, if you don't give it enough context, um, it may just hallucinate, right? And the problem with LLM, the problem with AI, one of the biggest problems I have with it, is that it's really good at the talking part. It may give you a response that is so convincing, and then you catch an error, and it's like, "You're right on. You're totally right. My bad. I'll not repeat that again." And then you ask it again without context, and it's going to give you the same error again with convincing language. And so it's up to you to keep AI honest and prompt him and B's logic. A set of instructions is still the best way today to use the general AI. But of course, the models will evolve and it will become more and more um, promptless. I do think that'll happen eventually. So just a little bit in terms of the old way, new way, right? That's an easy way to talk about paradigm shifts. So the old way is having a pyramid of hierarchy where you have a big boss at the top and he tells the employees, the teams what to do, and every person has one role that they're best at. That is the old way of doing things. You have a human, you ask the human to create a blog post for you, or a creative, or a copy, or run a campaign for you, or do some data analysis, or structure the data in your HubSpot, whatever it is. And you wait a day, you wait 2 days, you wait a week or 2 weeks, and you get the results back. There is some feedback loop. That's the way it's done today. The way it's done by new companies today and by all companies tomorrow is there's going to be a person who is a supervisor, a person who has good context, flat org. They have all the context about what's going on in their business and outside, and they have a custom GPT. It can be a custom GPT, it can be a Claude, can be in any one of the JI vendors. And that custom GPT, the reason it has the word custom in there is because it's trained on all of your data and has all of your context and has all of your preferences for communication, right? Like when I communicate with Claude or with ChatGPT, there is a very concise way that I like ChatGPT to talk to me. I don't like a lot of fluff in the conversation. I like fact-based conversation. If it detects errors, or if I'm asking something that is unreasonable, I want it to let me know versus bullshit me around, and then at the end I see that I'm getting the wrong results. That's my personal preference. It also has all of my data. It has my CRM data. It's my Gmail. It has my calendar. It has my marketing automation, all of the advertising data. It has my website metadata. So it has so much information that it already processed. So every time I ask something, I ask the GPT to do something for me. It has all that context, all the historical, all the back and forth communication we had. And creating a custom GPT will literally take you a minute. In a minute from now, you can have a custom GPT. In 2 minutes from now, you can have a custom GPT with your website metadata. In 5 minutes from now, you can have it with all the advertising, all the ads that you ever ran, so that you can run, so that you can ask it to create a new ad creative for you. So it is really not too complicated to do it. And once you have it, you will see you become a supervisor of this nice technology that does things for you. Doesn't just tell you this is what you can do, follow these instructions and you'll get it done, but it will actually go ahead and do it for you. We have some examples here. Let's move to the next slide. So there are three things I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about in this presentation. The first one are AI workflows. What you see here, the screenshot here, is make.com. Make.com is like, imagine Zapier or if this and that. If you ever knew those technologies before, it was a kind of a automation technology. You connect HubSpot, you connect Gmail, and you can say, hey, if I'm getting a visitor from here, then send them an email from my Gmail. Super simple to understand, right? Here, you have the same concept, but with AI first integrated in it, meaning you can tell it to do things. Um, you can tell it to figure out the automation and do the automation 100x, deployed 100x without writing any piece of code, not even one line of code. And I'll go into that in a second. The second one is a custom GPT. We talked about it a little bit. I'm also introducing a new term called MCP. And MCP is essentially a way for you to bring in all the tooling, all the capabilities from the software that you have today, bring it into your favorite AI, meaning I can create, for example, I can connect an MCP server from my Gmail, and the moment I do that, it only takes a few minutes. And the moment I do that, I can go into Claude or I can go into ChatGPT and I can send an email, not just review my inbox, not just see what should I do today, but actually take action on it. I can draft emails, I can delete emails, I can add tags, I can remove tags. That's the power of an MCP, giving ChatGPT the tooling and the ability to take action on your behalf. And then Copilot. Copilot is a common term that many SaaS companies are now introducing, which is instead of going into your favorite software and clicking everywhere, you have a small Copilot where you can ask it to do what you want to do at that time. You want to set up a campaign. You're about to go into a board meeting and you need some information. You're going to I don't know, a big event, and you want to take some sort of action. You can tell it what you want to do, and it will figure out how to use the software on your behalf to get all the actions done and report back, just like an employee who is kind of an expert in that software. So let's dive into AI workflows first. This is what we've done here in metadata. I won't go into the numbers, but I can just tell you that we've done quite a bit of work in terms of adopting AI, and the way we've done it is a brutal way, and we had to do it, and that is reducing the manual work. The way we've done reducing manual work is we've reduced the team. We've reduced the team because we want to become profitable, and we needed to become profitable, and that was, sometimes scarcity drives creativity, right? And so the way we've done it is by having a need, right, from the outside market, from the investment, from the board, to be profitable. We had to take these actions, and in order for us to figure out how do we actually automate the manual work that we've done, we together with the team, right? So we have a team that we interviewed. We want to make sure that they're down for that challenge. We started a process where the team members themselves started taking screenshots, start taking Loom videos, Loom recordings, start writing SOPs, start and operating procedures of everything that they do. You can see all that goodness here in the very overwhelming spreadsheet here that I took a screenshot of. And what comes out of that is a step-by-step SOP for every process. So let's say one of our campaign manager wakes up in the morning, she makes her coffee, she goes to the computer, and she has 50 accounts, 40 accounts that she manages. She goes through the different systems. She figures out, okay, which accounts are doing well, which accounts are not doing well. What are the insights? What are the actions that I need to take? And she starts going through all of these activities. Well, what if you could create an agent that you can make your coffee, and by the time you finish your coffee, you don't have to get into a 4 hours work marathon. By the time you finish your coffee, you can start sipping it and watch the AI agents open up 100 browser and go through all of your accounts. The same standard procedure that you do manually is now done for you. And the actions, depending on your comfort level, you can either approve the actions, it will show you the actions that need to be done and you can confirm them, or if your comfort level is high or your risk tolerance is high, you can just let it take the actions for you right away. That is just one of the agents that we created here. So we recorded the screen, we recorded the screenshots, we took the videos, we took the SOPs, we broke them down into a human in the loop. That's what AHTL means, which is a process in which AI is driving, but there is a human somewhere needed. It can be a small task like a CAPTCHA that is trying to identify that you're not a bot, that you have to join in as a human and bypass it, or it can be a much more complicated task where a human is just more capable in. And it could be many tasks because humans are more capable in many of the AI tasks still today, especially creative tasks and context tasks. And then it hands over the control back to AI. So that's the first thing you can do. The first thing you can do today is install one of those software or put together a step-by-step human in the loop process, an SOP for your most demanding tasks. Think about tasks that are taking the longest, that are producing the most output, that are yielding the most productivity for you, and you don't like the most. The things that you know you are not really meant to be. Like if you still wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning and are batch changing 100 UTM tags, yes, this is a task you can automate, for example. And then once you have the SOP, you have two choices. You can either learn how to use make.com and start engineering those workflows. It is not complicated. It's not easy. It's not just like like it won't take you 5 minutes. It'll take you hours to learn it, but it's worthwhile. But you also don't have to. You can go into one of the general AI tools available today, like for example, manus.im is one of them. There are many others. I can give you recommendations. You can just upload to Manus a video with a human in the loop spreadsheet with an SOP. And once you do that, it will learn the process by itself. It'll take over your screen if you're using the open source, or it will set up its own desktop if you're using the cloud version, and it will go through the task. You can see here, I installed my own Manus on my computer. You can see this is the visual. These are the lenses of the AI. It takes the screen from Google. It breaks down everything that is there on the browser, and you can ask it to take action. I remember 5 months ago, I created an automation with Manus, open source, that logged in into the software that we created and took actions. And it was quite mind-boggling to see it happen. You can do it today. It's much more evolved even today. So it's not very complicated. The learning curve for tools like Manus is days at max. Let's move on to the next one.
Awesome. Right.
Second one I wanted to talk about is the custom GPT. Custom GPT, I can't speak enough about how much low-hanging fruit are available, right? There is getting to the 1% most advanced AI. Okay, it's there, but there is the 1 hour task you can take today that will get you 30%, 40% there, the 2080 rule, right? So custom GPT and MCP server, we talked about it a little bit. This is just an example of something that I've done with one of my customers. We, as a software, we have an AI first software that takes over all of the advertising operations, right? It creates audiences, it sets up campaigns, it sets up thousands of experiments, it has a full feedback loop, and it can optimize the campaigns to generate pipeline. That's the software we created. There are still manual tasks in there. For example, generating creative. We run for just one of our customers thousands of experiments at any point of time. In order to feed a beast that will run for you thousands of experiments, you have to have hundreds of creatives, right? And if you're going to start handing those tasks to lots of creative professionals, it's going to create a bottleneck. You're going to end up with a system that is super fast, but in order for the system to work, you have to wait a week and feed it enough creatives. And so what we've done here is something super simple. We created a custom GPT for one of our customers, which is included in one of our programs, and we ingested into that custom GPT the website metadata of that customer for brand guidelines and all of the creatives we ever ran. In this example, it was, I think, 1,500 creatives. You can see it in the next slide. And finally, we ingested all the metadata, all the statistics, all the KPIs for this ad. So this ad generated these many impressions, these many clicks, these many demo requests, these many MQLs, SQLs. This is the pipeline it generated. And all of that goodness was ingested into this custom GPT. And after I did it, I waited about 5 minutes and I asked it to generate 30 new creatives for me. That's all I did. I told him, hey, please generate, I think it was 10 more creative or 15 more creatives at the first prompt. And he just gave me, right off the bat, 15 new creatives that were on the brand guidelines, that were different than the historic ones. And those were created based on the performance of the best historical creatives. So right there on the spot, it took 15 seconds, 20 seconds for GPT-4o to generate one creative. It took it a few minutes to generate all of the 15, and I had it right in front of me. And I could take those, download them, now upload them to the Copilot of metadata or the MCP, and ask it to generate 50 more best performing ads. It is as simple as that. You can create this custom GPT today if you wanted to. Copilots. So copilots, you can hear this term everywhere. Most SaaS companies, most I would say software companies, you have to log in, click a bunch of buttons, and then an action is being taken for you. You have to adopt to the software. Many times that's why you have to hire professional services, agencies, consultants to run the software. If you remember the old SAP days, they generate a lot of revenue because their software is so complicated. Salesforce.com can be pretty complicated. How much money did you spend sorting out your Salesforce.com, the structure, the workflow, the process, integrating all of the different systems, setting up CPQ? It's a nightmare. And so imagine you had a copilot that can go and do things for you. You use simple English or Spanish or whatever language you use and just feed it the context that you want, and it will go and click the buttons for you. And so I'm giving a few examples here. The most exciting example, I think, is Lovable. Lovable is a piece of software where you can type in whatever language. I have my 8 years old build apps with it these days, and you can just feed it or talk to it, and it will create an app for you. It'll create a game for you. It'll start building stuff for you. It may not be perfect the first round, but the fifth, sixth rounds are going to be pretty amazing. You wouldn't believe what you can create with it in a matter of hours. And then the same thing goes for social media posts. You can today essentially give it some context, give it historical posts, tell it to be inspired by other social media influencers that you're excited about and like their style. You can give it, of course, to a researcher for your historical to make sure everything is done with your name, with your style, with your formatting, and it will go and generate. This is Postel, by the way, and I'm using on the right hand. It will generate 30 posts for you. And if you build a workflow around it, it'll set it up and post it automatically for you too. You don't have to click even the post button. And then on the left side, self-promotional, this is an example of our own software, where instead of setting up, you know, 500 campaigns, or even, let's go in smaller number, even 50 campaigns. If you have to set up 50 campaigns today on Meta or on LinkedIn or on X or on Reddit, today you can upload the spreadsheet of your own structure to our software, and it will go scan the spreadsheet, generate the creative, fill in the blanks, and then show you a draft campaign with 50 experiment with 50 campaigns where you can approve it and set it up to go live. This is something that you should demand. And when you look for software today, if you're a new company or if you're making a change in your existing company, you should really look for software that already has a copilot in there. If not, then you're going to end up waiting for them to build it for you, because this is inevitable. Ideally, you have a software that doesn't only have a copilot, that you still have to log into the software and put a chat, but ideally you get a software that has an MCP where you can bring the software into your existing AI stack. So if you're accustomed to doing things in ChatGPT, imagine you can run everything from ChatGPT. And that's actually the demo I want to show you today. Lisa, did you want to go with your bid agent first, or should I go with make and metadata?
You know what? I've got my screen up and I know we're kind of short on time. So why don't I'll just pull this in here now. So what Gil was just kind of leading off with is he was saying, okay, so we had the spreadsheet, we put together all these different experiments, and within that, we then put this into metadata, ingested it into our campaigns, and we're saying we're running these experiments. And then on top of that, what we're also doing is we've activated bid agent. So what is really sweet about this, and I'll show kind of how it's working, but bid agent is coming in and optimizing our bids in real time at a pace that no human could. So kind of think about it like typically the standard problem with LinkedIn right now is you're burning cash or you're using their manual bidding, and you're having a human go in and try to keep up with the pace of their algorithm to get your best bids. And there's just no way that you can do that and be optimized. So, here we're seeing how it's performing, but then just for the sake of time, I've got this teed up to show kind of when we look at our logs and how much optimization is happening. I mean, like last week, we had a webinar with Zoom. They were doing about 128 optimizations a day with Bid Agent. And I mean, here's an example from our instance where you're just seeing, it's automatically coming in here and looking at all of the different campaigns, which ads are performing best, what the cost per click should be, and making adjustments to it in real time. And, little tweaks like dropping things down, 84 cents or something is something a human wouldn't even probably think to do. But when it all adds up and you start seeing, some of these savings, even if it's pennies on the dollar, hundreds and thousands of times over and over again in the course of a month, like the savings are real. But then we're also seeing really great results from this, from the standpoint of better click-through rates, higher pipeline and revenue being generated from the campaign. So I'll just say, if you want to hit me up at the end, DM me or whatever, I can get you into an early access free trial for it, but it's really cool. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Gil.
Gil, you're on mute.
Thank you, Julia. Okay, let me see if I can quickly show you something. Okay, two things I want to show you. One is our make account. This is the work of a couple months. So we have something like 17 or 18 agents that we built already from this workflow that I showed you. And some of these agents are multi-agents, so within them there are multiple workflows. For example, we have an agent that every morning goes through all of your competitors, sees all the SEM ads that they have, then puts together a spreadsheet, then goes into that spreadsheet, generates copy for all of them, and then goes again into the system, into metadata system, and sets up a competitive campaign for you. We have another system that ingests all of the competitor ads on all social and generates a new set of creatives inspired by your competitor ads, especially the ones that perform well. We have so many of those, right? They saved us, I think, something like 30, maybe 35 hours so far. I'm on a mission to get to about 80-90% of the work, of the manual work, out of the door, so that our team members have more time to breathe, to sleep, and to work on strategic work, creative work, and then serve more customers. Have more time to work on things that they do best for our customers. So ability to generate more revenue with existing resources is absolutely possible today. This is one of the ways we're doing it. If you're a business owner and you need some help doing that, I'm more than happy to show you the blueprint that we've gone through and how we've done this using the tools that are available to everyone. Another thing I wanted to show you is my little Claude here. So I ran this just before our webinar, and I asked it something simple. I asked it, hey, and I have little cheat sheet here. I have metadata installed here as an MCP, right? So metadata built in MCP. I connected to this MCP. You can see the kind of actions I opened here for Claude. I also turned off those two because they take forever. They are pretty big. I don't want it to think for more than 30 seconds. But look, this is the question I asked it. I asked to give me the best performing ad in terms of pipeline created and included creative. And it did some work. You can see the kind of work it went through. It hides this work for you because you really don't care. And at the end of the day, it gave me those two results. One of them is the ad that generated 2.5 source pipeline, and then some of the influence pipeline. It told me the spend is pretty nice, right? It's a 100x return on the spend. And then the second one is the lower CPL. I want to show me the ads that generated the most amount of leads for me. So I click here, it opens the link, and right here, hopefully you can see my screen, it shows you the kind of ad it ran for me. So those are really the two things I want to show. I can go and ask it if I wanted to create 3 new ads inspired by those best performing ads. I should always expect that everything's going to crash and burn when you do things in live, but I'm going to try it anyway. And now it's going and calling metadata MCP, and it's essentially an agent that is going and setting up things for you. It creates the ad, it sets them up on the channel, it will do the whole thing for you. You don't have to lift a finger. It comes up with the copy, it comes up with the call to action, the whole thing for you. If you want it, it will create the content for you. It will generate all of the components, all of the artifacts to make sure it happens. So this is just an example. I'm going to stop it here. It is working, which makes me very happy. If you want to hear more about it, of course, just shoot me an email. I'm also happy to help you on your own specific example. Doesn't have to be advertising. This is now available. This technology is now available on all realms. And so I strongly encourage you to adopt it.
Gil, it's such a fascinating tech session, and you are definitely way ahead of the market. The question that will keep coming up in the community is how do we transition to this reality? What's the first step, Gil, rationally?
To me, it's always about mini wins. So, it's like when you finish your retreat and you have all these realizations about life and, you have 100 things to do. You start with the smallest win, something that makes your dopamine circulation go. And so I would say if you open up ChatGPT today and you create a custom GPT, you put in whatever data, your CRM export, your marketing automation export, something that is relevant to a task you want to do, you should feel great about it. And tomorrow, and make a reminder, put 5 minutes on your calendar to do 5 minutes more. Open ChatGPT without any context, without any agenda. And based on the biggest task that you have, the biggest headache, the biggest stress that you need to solve at that moment, every day, 5 minutes, you'll see great compounding interest from it.
Yeah, I'll actually add to what Gil just said. What I think is really important is what is it you're trying to solve for? And I think that always helps me to make the time for it and to make it a priority to say, all right, here is this gap. Here's this problem I have in my day to day that I need improved. I can't keep spending this much time on. I'm burning out. Right. And so then you do have to force yourself to sit down and spend a couple hours or a couple days to figure out how to build out that workflow. But once you do, you'll want to keep going.
Thank you so much again. And what's the best next step? And we unfortunately have to transition to the next session.
Yeah, I'll say feel free to reach out to either Gil and I directly on LinkedIn, or also you can go to the metadata website and request a demo if you want to see something more specifically.
Yeah, and sign up for make.com, sign up for N8N, sign up for Zapier, one of those, and start playing with them just out of curiosity and fun. And you'll get into productivity modes very quickly.
Thank you so much.